Welcome back to Behind the Bumpers. I'm here with Team 1595, the Dragons, at the Wilsonville District event. We are going to talk about their really tiny robot. It might be the smallest in-season robot I've ever seen. They've got an awesome boat hook elevator and an algae manipulator that completely disappears when it's stowed. So all that and more on Behind the Bumpers.
Our bumpers are really small. When starting out this season, we were pretty sure that the defense was going to be a really big deal, and so we wanted to be able to get around it as easily as possible. And so our frame is 21 by 21 by 24, and again, we are probably one of the smallest robots in this season, which is pretty cool. With our algae, we have this touch-it-on intake that comes out here. It's driven by this 4-bar, and it's got a silicone roller around a PVC pipe that basically just pulls in the algae here, where we can then load it into the processor. Then for our drivetrain around it, we've got swerve drives with Mark IV Talon FX motors with L1 gearing to have a lot of torque, make our robot really fast, so that again, it gets a lot easier to go around defense and move to the scoring elements faster. And then for our climb, we have this climb, which is inspired by Team 118. Basically, this constant force spring, when we winch it out, that will pull the climber out, where we can then line up with the cage to pull this in and wrap around it. And when we winch it in, our robot will be suspended just about parallel to the cage to get the deep climb. And now I'll pass it on.
I'm really proud of the carriage. I think it looks really nice. We have 2 milliliter carbon fiber tubes here, which are pretty light, and all these junctions are 3D printed. And then for the coral intake, we have this, it can rotate up so we can get to the high L4 because our boat hooks don't go high enough, and we get a better angle. And then we also have this servo, so we only have to drive up to the middle of it, and then we can shoot left or right. So we only drive up to the middle, and we get like 8 options.
Awesome.
I guess in the code we also have it so we don't actually move this at all. It just goes wherever the lift is going. So it's kind of passive in a way.
Hello, I'm Tristan, and I'm going to be talking about our elevator, which is a boat hook elevator. Boat hooks are a composite type of roll that wants to be in this tubular shape, but we force it flat, and so it can spool in a spool. We first saw this with the Howdy Bots, I think it was, with their Shrinky Dink robot in 2023, and we thought it was really cool. And because this is our 20th anniversary, we wanted to do something fancy and nice. And after realizing that we wanted a small frame, we wanted like a super light carriage, elevator, some sort of system, and boat hooks was like the perfect option for that. If we want to come in and look at these, we are driving them with 2 Falcons at the bottom, and then they're paired together with these gears, and then with belts, they are run to the drum with these custom manufactured pulleys, and the drum spools it in. We also have a belt running up to these pulsing wheels right here, which actuate against the inside of the boat hooks. And what that does is it spools it out properly, because if you only spooled it with the drum, it would unwind inside of the carriage, like the habitat that we have down here, this 3D printed shell. And so during testing, we found that these pulsins worked really well, and we don't need one on the outside, so we just have these passive rollers right here, which is really cool. The biggest problem with using boat hooks is getting wires up to the carriage, and so what we have is this double slip ring spool right here. This is inspired heavily by 125's 2023 robot. But instead of using like a belt to run it with our carriage lift, which is pretty hard because it's 90 degrees, so we'd have to use some sort of translation. We use this constant force spring right here, which winds back on top of itself, which then pulls it back. And then we have 2 anti-mark slip rings to bring the wires up, so it can spool infinitely if we didn't have it, attached to it, which is pretty cool. Another thing is we have more mechanisms designed, but we're such a small team. We only have about 6-ish students, and so this is as much as we got by our competition. But we do have a barge manipulator designed, as well as a ground intake that fits on this side. Thank you.
And I think we have a picture of that on your computer over here.
Here's the CAD. CAD is very important this year because of how small we are, so you have to make sure everything fits perfectly. And so, we worked a lot on the CAD.
Thank you, 1595. This is a super exciting robot for a super exciting season, your 20th season competing in FIRST. It's so much fun to see such a tiny robot out on the field. So good luck with the rest of your competition, and we'll see you next time.